The man who banged on my door for weeks vanished after I finally saw him. I've described my current apartment as a fairly ordinary place. It's simple, nothing fancy, and in fact, it's very similar to the last apartment I lived in 2 years ago. The building had a few plain hallways and many units. I had an assigned parking space in the underground garage, and the complex consisted of several buildings like mine. One night, I was woken up by loud banging on my front door. It was a Friday. Around 3 a.m. the knocking went on continuously for about 10 seconds before I finally decided to get up. I looked through the peephole, but no one was there. I didn't want to open the door, so I just went back to bed. After that, I didn't hear anything else that night. The next day, when I thought back to waking up at 3 a.m., I figured maybe some drunk person coming back from the bars had knocked on the wrong door. So I didn't think much of it. But the same thing happened again the following week. Once again, I was woken by someone aggressively banging on my door. This time, I had a bad feeling about it. I didn't know who it could be. I didn't even know any of my neighbors. I just lay there and waited for the noise to stop, which took about 10 to 20 seconds. I couldn't fall asleep for a while afterward. I was wide awake and unsettled. Eventually, I managed to doze off again. But it really bothered me. A few nights went by, and then it happened again. This time it was a little earlier in the night, and I was still awake, sitting in the living room watching TV. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. At first it seemed like a normal knock, but it quickly turned aggressive, loud, violent pounding. It lasted for about 15 seconds, and then everything went quiet again. I could hear whoever it was walking away, and I didn't hear anything else for the rest of the night. Weeks passed without anything unusual. Then one night, it happened again. I was awake, sitting in the living room. It was sometime after midnight. While I was on the couch, I heard that same harsh, forceful banging on my door. As usual, I didn't get up right away. But this time, it went on longer, maybe 30 seconds. Finally, I decided to get up. But just a few steps from the door, the knocking stopped, almost like the person had heard me and backed off. I heard footsteps moving away. I looked through the peephole again. No one. This time, though, I opened the door and peeked into the hallway. And that's when I saw someone. A man. I only caught a glimpse of his back as he walked away, quickly. I could see him for maybe 5 seconds before he opened the stairwell door and disappeared from sight. And for the rest of my time in that apartment, no one ever knocked on my door again. I still don't know who that man was. But the whole thing left me deeply unsettled.